Hello, everyone. My name is Sean, and I'm pastor at Resurrected Apostolic Faith Ministry. We have visited so many churches. I personally visited uh, many churches, and I've just seen that sometimes a lot of people want to know more about divorce, and they just can't get it. So I was just going there around the internet, and I was moved by the Spirit to go ahead and do this. So we're just going to jump right in. Divorce. Most people are talking, is about Christians, a very Christianly topic that states that, my wife or husband, they just weren't meant for me. So what that basically means is after you were married, you felt over a space of time that you guys didn't click, you guys didn't relate to each other in terms of, things just didn't gel well with you guys. Um, Constant arguments, fightings over seemed to be nothing. And so you just said, you know what? God said there should be peace in my marriage. This should be a blessing for me. And you're just not seeing the blessing yet. So, this topic is meant for those Christians out there that are going through struggles with their marriage, um, you know, and whether it be something that has just occurred with just a major fight or argument, or maybe this has been on a reoccurring thought in your mind. So let's get into this. Okay, so where's divorce in the Bible? Where do we read it? How did it come to be? Why is there such conflict about it? So in Deuteronomy 24, verse 1 through 4, we know that Moses is speaking to the people about said certain things that they should do because they were going to Moses about all the stuff in which they're having problems about. And at a point, Moses felt like he was getting overwhelmed with all the people coming in, and that's where Aaron steps in, and he appoints certain elders as well to go ahead and carry forth the word in judgment, really. So in Deuteronomy 24, verse 1 through 4, starts when it says, "When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write, her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house." So you read onward about, she'll remarry, and if the other husband doesn't find favor in his eyes towards her, he could also write a bill of divorcement. So this is where, this is going to begin, because in the beginning it says she finds no favor, or he finds no favor um, in his eyes. And so that tells me right there that, this is just something that people were like, you know what, I'm tired of her. Let me just put her away. Let me put him away, But in this sense, we're talking about her because a man had the authority in that time to do such things. So she goes ahead or he goes ahead and he just says, I don't want her anymore. What do I do when I don't want this woman and I want to marry another woman that I feel is meant for me? So you may have found her to go through some uncleanness, which comes with many things. In a man's mind, many things could encompass uncleanness. She may speak back to you. She may cheat on you. Um, she may mock you. She may, there's just many things that can encompass uncleanness in her, because in your mind or in their mind, a woman should be that helpmeet. And just everything should be perfect about her. She wakes up and she's just joy to your heart. So, with that being said, anything that's contrary to that feeling that you're feeling that a woman or your wife should have towards you could be found as uncleanness to you. So, sometimes a woman is feeling pressure as well, and maybe she's looking at other men, comparing you to other men, comparing you to other marriages, and seeing that, maybe saying that you're not doing enough as a husband. So, with that being said, I just want to point out the major point that she finds or he finds no favor in his eyes. Just point blank. Give her a bill of divorcement, send her out. So then we want to know, well, why can't we divorce? It doesn't say, a lot of people, this is a big argument. I've seen it again and again, time and time again, where people say, well, in the Old Testament, it says, Moses said we could divorce. Okay, but this is also Old Testament, and you could also back it up, and I could read off more, but since I'm on a time frame here, I just want to go to Malachi 2, verse 14 through 16, and it says, "Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant. And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit, and wherefore one? That he might seek a godly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. For the Lord, the God of Israel, saith that he hateth putting away. For one covereth violence with his garment, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore take heed to your spirit, that ye deal not treacherously." So this is Malachi, and he's going ahead and speaking on behalf. This is people of God empowered by the Spirit of God to speak certain things that they see people have questions about, or they see is happening abroad. So God is saying here, I'm a witness between the woman and, the man about how you guys are dealing. Everyone knows why you're being divorced. Sometimes you already have a resolution. What I mean by that is you already see the outcome. You already see the other man, the other woman in that relationship that you want to remarry or get remarried to, which is why you don't even give heed to your wife or the problems or what she's saying is a problem. So sometimes we just go ahead and say, who cares? Let's just divorce. Forget it all. Why the argument? Why the worry? I don't care about, this marriage any longer. So in that sense, you make up in your spirit, when I say spirit, you have to understand that we have a spirit. God breathed life into us and became spirit into a living man. So we're going ahead and trying to convince ourselves that this woman is not for us, and going ahead and saying, well, let's get rid of her. So in that sense, the Spirit didn't tell you that. You yourself, your mortal being, we all know that we fight against flesh. The flesh wars against the Spirit. And so the flesh is saying, forget it. The Spirit is saying, why not try this, that, why not go ahead and reason together, but you're going ahead and dealing treacherously, point blank, towards your wife, and you say, you know what, forget her. This is it. But God says, I hate it. I hate putting away, because it says, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. And it's just like the word that also backs up and says, if I give you the Spirit of God, you guys should be able to rejoice towards me. There shouldn't be any tribulation or trial that should hinder you from the goodness of God. In the same sense, if God has joined you to this wife, and, whether for whatever reason you guys went down the aisle, you guys got married, you came back, you're happy, but something went wrong. But God says, come down to the potter's house and see him work on the wheel. See how he breaks and remolds again. And he says, can I do this for the children of Israel? Can't he do it for your marriage? Can't he do it for your family? He can. God's hand is not short, and we have to realize that if we go ahead and truly believe, which is called faith, that God is going to deliver you. Now, when I say deliver you, sometimes we feel that, okay, it does take two to divorce. Makes sense. But there's sometimes you have to be that light in that relationship. We could all point blame at what the other person is not doing right, but what about the things that we're not doing? If you fix yourself, then of course you're able to see the things that are wrong in your partner, and then you're able to address it in a different manner other than maybe screaming, shouting,